Hello, members. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you're watching us from. This is Dr. Jane Missy, and I'm welcoming you to Reflections That Inspire. This is a leadership forum where we meet regularly, twice a month, the first Saturday of the month and the third Saturday of the month. And we meet regularly as leaders so that we could sharpen our tools as leaders. And that makes a topic today that has been so interesting to me. At first, I thought, what am I talking about? But as we continue sharing, reading through and forth, I found this topic to be very interesting. And this is part of a series that has been going on. Here at Reflections, we do cover a series which we started the first week of January, and we started by tuning the ground of ourselves as leaders, knowing and understanding our values as leaders. And currently, we are sharpening and nurturing the environment we live in as leaders. And for you to succeed in this current environment, you need to sharpen your tools. You need to have a box where you hold all the tools as a leader, all the competition, all the threats, all the discussions that are all around us. You need to sharpen and equip yourself with real, live, active tools. And that is where we are this evening. So today, I've got a dear friend. I've got a fellow coach, fellow friend who I've learned, I've grown up with, who is going to be our speaker this evening. And this friend is Thelma Porter. Hi, Thelma.
It is certainly good to be with you today, Jane. We go back to what, 2017? I think
Yes.
it's 2017.
Yes, it's so exciting to see us grow, and now you are here to really speak to us.
Pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm welcoming Thelma Porter, who is my dearest friend and a fellow coach and a fellow member of John Maxwell team, where I'm also a member. So Thelma is an educator who has served up to the CEO level in primary system in Jamaica. Her students have described her as a life changer. I too can attest to that. She is a life changer and lifesaver. Love the two going together. And one who always listens to them. She currently serves as a principal of WAFIF Academy of Excellence, an outreach arm of Worship and Faithful International Fellowship, the church where she serves as a deaconess and head of Women Discipleship Program. She's an inspirational leader and an influencer who tries to lead by example. Very few leaders do that. Ms. Porter is a Maxwell certified leadership coach, mentor, speaker, and a leadership trainer. She's also a certified Courtney McLean Wired to Win DNA coach and the CEO of Growth Institute, under which she operates her own online freelancing business. Ms. Porter has excellent communication skills. I can attest to that. I did my poster to the dot because of her skills. And she has also worked as a news specialist, presenter, while simultaneously hosting several shows on radio, including Radio Jamaica. She's an author and has written I Want More, Honoring God's Servant Gives Me More. She is currently writing her second book. She's a Christian who holds Romans 8:28 dear to her heart. She's a mother of one, a wonderful daughter, Aisha, who is the pride and joy to her. She describes her as a blessing. Ms. Porter has success-driven trend, one who helps people to find their purpose, and she's a value adder. Her philosophy is seek value, get value. Give value as well as work hard to reach one and reach more. It's my honor and pleasure to invite our speaker now, Ms. Thelma Porter. Thelma, you're welcome. Take up the platform, and we are ready here.
Thank you so much. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm all the way in Jamaica, where it's just a little after 12 o'clock, 12 noon, where you are in Africa. I think it's after 8 o'clock, right?
That's right, Thelma. We are in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah. So it really is good to be with you. I look forward to us working together, sharing, you learning from me and I learning from you. It's not just me here. It's not just me here. So as it says, we're going to be sharing about what's inside the leader's toolbox. So I'll be sharing some systems, some tools that I believe are very important for you to have in your toolbox in order for you to succeed. If you are just your own personal self, as well as if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader in an organization, this is just an open discussion, conversation, presentation that hopefully you'll see the value in it and you'll be taking away some of these tools. So what I'm going to be doing, first of all, I'm going to be sharing my screen now. And I just look forward to this. We're going to have some fun, right? That's what I call it. We're going to be having some fun. So it's inside a leader's toolbox, some simple systems to improve your life. And whatever you do, whatever business you're in, whatever it is. All right. So let's go. Sometimes this thing. So we're going to have a 4C rule. And I'm going to ask you to obey these rules, right? I'm in charge here right now at this time. So I'm laying down my rules and I'd like you to follow the rules. It's my 4C rule. One of the rules is to come on camera. No, it's not one of the rules, but I'd love it. As a matter of fact, C, camera starts with a C. So I should say my 5C rule. Be on camera, please. I don't want to feel lonely here. I already see that some friends are on camera. I'd like you to come on. I'd like everybody to be on camera. So my 4C rule, first of all, there goes my laptop freezing again. It happens to me all the time. It works so well when I'm doing the test run. And then when I'm in front of everybody, it shows up. All right, the first C, contribute, 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 contribute. Be a part of this. Speak, yeah? When we're in a conversation together, we're learning together, contribute. Do it with confidence. This is a safe space. Nobody's going to hush you down. Nobody's going to tell you to sit and shut up because you're not offering value. It's an open, safe space. So offer, contribute with confidence. Be creative. Many times it's because of lack of creativity in the workplace, or if you're a business owner or a leader in an organization, or even with your own situation, you're not creative enough. And many times the lack of creativity can kill the success in an organization. And of course, be very cheerful. We're going to have some fun here this evening, tonight. And of course, John Maxwell says, when you add humor to anything that you're doing, especially if you're presenting, it allows you to connect with the audience, yes? And likewise, if you're at the workplace, if you're in the organization, if you bring a bit of a cheer as an organization leader or as a business owner, or just with your friends, you know, just your everyday conversation, cheerfulness always wins out. All right. So let me ask you a question to start. If you had to live your life all over, what would you do differently? Let's spend some time talking about this. Not a very long time. The longer you take to respond is the longer it's going to be. You know, it's getting there. If you had to live your life all over, what would you do differently? I can start with myself. If I had to live my life all over, I'd say to my 20-year-old self, Thelma, why do you procrastinate so much? There's so many things you could have done. At this stage, in the last 5 years, I have made up for what I didn't do in all the decades previous to that. I was a harsh procrastinator. So if I could live my life all over again, I would not procrastinate. I would do much better at that. Anybody cares to take it? If you could live your life all over, what is it that you would do?
I would take it, Thelma. I would start speaking from the age of 15. And that is even later. I would start at 10. I would do what I'm doing now from the age of 10. Wasted time waiting for nothing.
Yes. Thanks for sharing that, Jane. Who else is coming? Who is coming next? Mary J. Camo. I shouldn't even attempt to your name, you know, Mary, because I might just mess up your day. Would you
No,
care to?
you got it. It's Chege and Kamau is the last name. If I
Thank you,
was to
nice.
do my life all over again, I'll probably make different decisions in several facets of my life, including my personal life, and not wait to have my career all the way until past 50s when I'm starting to concentrate on my personal life.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? We've had 2 Africans. Can we have 2 Jamaicans if you had to live your life all over differently?
Yeah.
If I have to live my life all over again, number one, I would procrastination definitely would have to go. I would seize every opportunity and explore every opportunities.
Yes, thank you. That's one with me. This thing called procrastination, it just kills everything. Oh, if I had done that, then my life wouldn't be this way. Procrastination, as they say, is the thief of time. One more. Janet, you're smiling. That means you want to share. Go ahead.
Okay, for me, I wish I knew then what I know now. So I would be able to make smart decision and do the right thing then.
Yes, thank you. And that's exactly what happens to us all the time. We realize, oh my goodness, if I had just done that, and because we didn't get a chance to do it, we become frustrated, we become so overburdened, we get very miserable, and we make life just such a bother for so many persons. And that is why we have forums like these, where we say, listen, as I said to some persons on my Facebook Live on Thursday, I said to them, listen, life is not a dress rehearsal. You don't get an opportunity to try it out and then try to make it the best thing possible. It's not a dress rehearsal. And so it's just thrown at you. Life is just thrown at you. And you just have to grab it and you just have to do the best that you can with it. And so this evening, in just sharing with you, we're going to be sharing with you some tools and all of those kinds of things that will hopefully in being able to weather the storm, you know. I'm trying to share a video here, so I'm going to stop sharing this and then get into video. All right, so let me get this out of the way. Let me get that out of the way, and then I'll be able to share the video. Of course, there's always a solution. So if my video is not coming up, I will just tell you what the video says, and then we move on, you know. But let me try one more time to see if we can get it right this time. I'm doing everything, but let's see what happens now. All right. So let me know if you can see my screen, everyone. Let me know if you can see my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
And not yet, but it's starting.
All right. Okay, you are screen sharing. You should be able to see it now. Are you seeing something now?
Right.
All right, so let's just look at this little video and see what we can make from it. Like I said, if it's taking too long, if I enlarge the screen, it might lag, cause a lagging a bit. So I will just leave it this way. Let's see what happens. As you see, it says they're neat streets. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many of you understood what was happening there. It's a little bit of silliness there. Of course, at that place in London, they have a big issue with 1/3 of the population. They're always missing the rubbish bin. The rubbish bins will be there, but they'll be throwing the litter all over the place. And somebody came up with a creative idea to have a talking rubbish bin. And every time you throw something in, a sound comes out. There's a belch, there's someone laughing, there's music, all kinds of things. And as a result of that, people were so fascinated with it that they deliberately created rubbish to throw inside there. So that little piece of silliness there actually was explaining to us that there will always be situations, there'll always be challenges, whether it is at the workplace, whether it is in your personal life, where will always be a solution. And the more creative the solution is, and the more cheerful the solution is, the better it is for the success in the organization. So that's just a little bit of a silliness right there. Let's get right into it again. Do you agree, by the way? Do you agree that there's always a challenge, but there's always a solution? What do you think about that? Always a challenge, but always a solution. Yeah? No? Maybe?
That is right. That is always, it's always putting on the screen, and to share my screen, I had great challenges, but I knew there would be a solution. There is
All
one.
right.
Right.
And like I said, even if I didn't get through showing that to you, my solution would be to tell you what it says. So we're going to be, by the end of this presentation, you should be able to, whether you are an individual and just having some challenges of your own personal development, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you are a leader in an organization, whatever facet it is, you'll be able to, by the end of this presentation, realize what it is that you can do or how you can do it. So we're talking about some systems that you can put in place for success, systems that are in your toolbox. And I've created my own names of these systems. And of course, based on my experience, of course. And this very important piece of tool, this system that I'd encourage all of us to have in our toolbox, I call it the telescopic microscopic tool. And of course, telescopic comes from telescope. You take far things and bring them closer to you. Microscopic from microscope, meaning tiny things, you're able to enlarge them. And that is what happens to us in many instances. We sometimes have personal challenges, and these challenges, when they come, we are not even able to operate well in our homes, in our business places, whether we are the leader in the organization or we are the owner of the business. We can't see the big picture because of what is happening in our personal lives. And I'm speaking from experience here. Sometimes we have issues. Other persons are seeing the issues. We are not seeing the issues. And if somebody gently tries to say to us, you know, this is a particular situation that you're having, and because you don't think so, you are going to push it off. No. I remember days gone by, I was told that I don't listen. And I said, of course not me. I listen. But quite a number of persons were saying it, you know, yeah. And what I had to do, I had to step back and I had to think about it. And I had to make a deliberate attempt because I wanted to listen to what they were saying. And I wanted to be known as a good listener, because being a good listener gets you places. People will want to talk to you. People will also want to listen to you in order you know, to hear what you're saying and to hear the value that you're giving. So when I made that step back and I started to say, okay, let me see what they're saying about these issues, listening and other issues. And I can tell you, in some instances, they were not correct, but in instances they were. In instances they were. And it was when I realized that this really is true. And I looked at the big picture and I said, no, I need to shelve this kind of behavior, this kind of attitude, this kind of disposition, and I want to get there. When I started looking at the bigger picture, that was when things started to work well. Yeah. You have to look at where you'd like to be within a specific time. Is it days? Is it weeks? Is it months? Well, for me, it wasn't days. I tried starting it within days, but it was a piece of work. I had to continue doing it. Then you have to decide on the steps to take to get there. It's just like your goal. It's just like your dreams. You decide, okay, this is what I'd like to do. This is where I'd like to take the business. This is how much money I'd like to make by a certain time, within a year, within 2 years, within so many months. This is my big picture. So these are the steps that I'm going to use. But you wouldn't know about these unless you looked at you listen to what people are saying, you analyze yourself, you bring the far things near so that they're in your space, they're in your face. They're very much present, so you can see them for what they are and begin working on them. So you decide on the steps that you're going to use to get there. My story is, as Dr. Jane said at the beginning, in the introduction, I'm Maxwell Leadership Certified, so is she. But I remember I've always been coaching people, mentoring people. I didn't know the term. People would come to me, I'd assist. There'd be some amount of success. I'd be happy, they'd be happy. But then when I discovered John Maxwell and what he offers, I said, no, I have to have that. Because in doing that, it offers some kind of credibility to you, integrity, when people know that you are, although they know of you, although you've been successful to a point, when they realize that this world-renowned gentleman has certified me and I have the certificate to prove it, it takes you one step further. So I decided, I want this. I remember I was in Canada at the time with my daughter, and I checked $5,000 US. I said, my goodness, where am I going to get 5,000? I don't have 5,000 US dollars, but I was hungry. I wanted it. I saw that big picture. I saw what it could do to me, and I wanted to get it. So I made the call. I said, listen, guys, do you have a payment plan? And they said yes. And they told me of the payment plan. It was still a little bit large, you know, but I said to my daughter, all right, I worked it out, 500 US per month. And as I said, what's the time you're looking at? Weeks, months? Yeah. It was 8 months to the Maxwell certification. It was in August, and I was doing this discussion in December. And so I said to my daughter, I told her about it, and she said, okay, mommy, here's $500. I'm starting you off. So she gave me the deposit. And then I was on my own to work it out for the 8 months. And I decided for my little teeny tiny principal salary, I would find $500 each month. I'd go to the bank, I'd make the transfer. And then 8 months later, I found myself right there at the Marriott Hotel in Orlando. I won't tell them the story of how we didn't have to pay for our room, Jane. That was just such an awesome thing. We didn't have to pay for our room. We carried our money, you know, we had our money. But then I guess because we got there so early, when we went to the checkout place to pay, they said, Maxwell, the Maxwell team has already put up some rooms free, so you don't have to pay. Oh my goodness. So we had an opportunity to buy some Maxwell books or to go into one of the nice restaurants to have a meal, kind of a thing. What am I saying? You look at the big picture and you take steps to get there, just as in your personal life, just as a leader, whether you're a business owner or you work in an organization and you're the leader. Yeah, look at the big picture, put in that system, put that tool in, that telescopic, microscopic tool, and just watch it work for you. Another system and a piece of tool that you should have in your toolbox is the consistency tool. The consistency tool. And what this is it's about your daily routine, making that solution that you've discovered, the solution to success for your life, for your business life, for your financial life, whatever. When you find what it is that you can do, then you make it your daily routine. John Maxwell says the secret of your success is found in your daily routine. Yes, your daily routine. I've been a teacher for decades. And one of the systems that I had in place that everybody thought I was just the greatest teacher in the world. My students thought so, their parents thought so, the leadership of the schools where I worked thought so. And all I did was just teach by repetition, because there were some students I had who were struggling students. And you teach them today, and the following day they come back, it's as if they had never heard it in their lives. And what did teacher Thelma do? Go over the lesson. And when I had to move to a new lesson, I'd move to a new lesson during the class time, but in the mornings early, I'd ask them to come early or take a shorter lunchtime, and we would go through, revise the lesson that they had before. So it was all about consistency for me. And even in your current situation, once you find what you can do, once you are really upset with yourself and where you are, you're going to have to decide that, okay, I know this is what I really need to do, but you can't start and then stop and then start and then stop. And so one thing that I have used is my 60-day habit challenge. You notice it looks like a calendar, but it doesn't have the days of the calendar because you don't have 60 days in a month. But it is said that once you do 60 or 90 days of a habit, then chances are, a huge chance is that you will be able to start doing this thing. It has become a habit. It has been formed as a habit. And so you notice it's set up. What are the habits that you want to form? There's a space there for that. What's your starting date? So let's say today, the 3rd of June, I want to start a habit of doing something, whatever it is that will help you to, like we have a 1 hour. I want to have a 1 hour prayer time, a 1 hour quiet time with my God. But there are times when I do it for half an hour. I do it for less than an hour. And I say, but I want to have an hour. So I get my 60-day habit challenge. I put in my habit there, one of among the list there for the habit, 1 hour quiet time. And I put in my starting date. And because I'm holding myself accountable and I want to tick off that I've done it every day, it makes it a little easier. Let me caution you here though, that if you miss any day in the 60-day habit challenge, you can't continue. You just have to start all over again. And it's okay to fall off the wagon, but the important thing is not to be so upset with yourself, but to actually start all over again. So the 60-day habit challenge, an excellent tool to put inside that toolbox to help you with the consistency that you need, the consistency tool. And then there's one of my favorites too, the good old Wired to Win productivity planner. This is an excellent system that you can put in place to help you with your success at life, whether it is in your spiritual life, your work and your family life, your financial life, your work and business life. All of this can help you because inside of it, you have a section where you're going to talk about what's your story, how are you now, what kind of disposition and attitude do you have? And then you have your new story, where do you want to go? Yeah, so you write those and then it gives you daily activities, monthly activities, weekly activities, yearly activities to get to your goal. You have affirmations there. You have your to-do list, your success list there, all there. And I love my apostle so much, the author of this, Apostle Courtney McLean, who created this. It's available on Amazon as well, so you can go ahead and get it. And I think that some of the persons who are here in this audience are also coaches, because as stated in the profile, I'm a Wired to Win DNA coach, and this is the book that we use for that. So that's very important in establishing your systems. It's one of the essential, the 60-day habit planner challenge, the Wired to Win productivity planner, excellent. I've used those. Another thing in your toolbox, another system that I'm encouraging you to have is the first thing first tool. Very effective. And this highlights your priority or your priorities. It is the Eat That Frog system. Brian Tracy is the author of a book called Eat That Frog. And what it means is you identify the most difficult task. You have an aim in mind. You have a goal in view. And you know what the difficult thing you have to do to get to realize that goal. But you're not going to realize the goal unless you attempt at that difficult task. And so you identify your most difficult task and you tackle that one first. And then when you're finished with that one, You don't stop until it's done, because that is a part of our problem, why our systems fail, why our toolbox doesn't seem to be working, because we will start today and after 2 days we give up. That certainly is going to help you or your business or your family life or your finances or whatever to succeed. So you tackle that first. And if it is more than one priority that you have, you look at the one that is top priority. And if it is 2 or 3, then you look at the ugliest frog and you eat that one first. You tackle that one first, yeah? You go after the one that really presents a challenge, and you go after that one and you finish it. And my story, here is a 90-60-60 rule. Especially if you're not one, if you tackle one problem, that's fine. You don't need the 90-60-60 rule. But if it's a situation where you're a busy bee and you have some priorities and you want to realize those goals, let's say 2, 3 of them, well, what you do is you still look at the 3 of them. You look at the one that is the ugliest of all, the most difficult frog. And you say, okay, you're going to be my 90. And so you lock up yourself away, you tell your family members or anybody, listen, for 90 minutes, don't disturb me. You turn off your phone and you spend 90 minutes at this particular thing. 90 minutes nonstop. You go after it. You have your notebook and your pen with you. You make a note of what you're getting from it, and you go, you're doing the research, you're going after it. And when you're finished, you take a 10-minute break. And after you take the 10 minutes, you can do anything. Go get something to eat, get some nuts, go outside, take a walk, pray, whatever it is for the 10 minutes. And then you come and you tackle the second thing for 60 minutes and you remain true to it and you go after it again. And after that 60 minutes, you take a 10-minute break and you take that third frog and you spend 60 minutes and you go after it. And once you are consistent with that 90-60-60 rule, I guarantee you that you will begin to see some movement. All right, so that's a very effective tool to have. The next system that I think you should put in place, the next piece of tool in your toolbox for success, is the action steps tool. Because why is it that we're going to have all of these solutions? We're going to know, like you're here with me now and you're making notes and you say, yeah, I'm going to start this. Or on your notebook only, you have to make the move. You have to do the steps. Yes, this is where you move into action. This is where you ask yourself, what am I going to do? I already have the systems here. I've been taught the systems. I know what it is. I'm a part of this organization. This is what is happening in my life. I'm the leader here. This is what I have discovered. I have learned that I should do. What am I going to do? It's where you adjust the action steps, not the goal. Because what many people do is if you have a huge goal, dream big, start small, act now. That's what Robin Sharma says. But if you have your big dream and you begin to have challenges, what you're going to do is you're going to try shifting the goal. No, your goal remains your goal. Your goal stays in effect. What you are supposed to do is to adjust the action steps. If you find that when you do these actions, it's not working out so well, you shift and you adjust. You bring something else in, you drop that action. It is the action steps that you go after. So the action steps tool, the action steps system, what you should have in your toolbox, this is where now you adjust the action steps, not the goal, if you think that the goal is too big for you. My story. So as Dr. Jane said, I'm writing my second book. But it's been giving me a challenge. Oh my goodness, I want to start. I know it is. It's not working out. I have too many other things to do, but I want to do it. Yes. And then it really has been perplexing me. And I try to start and I say, okay, even if I write contents and I write the first title in the contents, the first chapter, that at least is starting something. And then I came upon this internship, publishing internship. And I made the call, I did the action, and she just popped up into my Facebook feed, actually. Yes, Dr. Ruth Taylor, who is a publisher. It just popped up in my Facebook feed, and I just said, let me see what's happening. And then I discovered that there is an internship program to the value of $1,500 US. Now, I don't have that. But what she has in the publishing internship is that you can come on board and you give her service valued at $1,500. So it's a win-win, it's a swapping situation. I give the service, and she, at the same time, she is coaching me about publishing. And a part of the deal is for me to publish my book. So I have 6 weeks now to finish that book, and then it will be published by her publishing company. But that's not the story, where the story ends. I publish my book, but she is coaching me. And then when persons sign on to the program and pay, I get to coach them based on the information I'm getting from her. And what it does as well is that I then become a certified publishing coach, and that becomes another stream of income for me. What if I had not made that action step? What if I had just sat there and just said, oh, geez, I need to be writing this book. I need to be writing this book. I hear of this, but I'll check it out another time. No, I moved on it. I made the action step because my goal is to publish my second book. So I made that action. I moved into action. A very effective piece of tool that you should use, the action steps tool. That is a system that you should put in place and don't delay. Remember, we talked about it, Jillian, the procrastination thing. Yeah, don't do that at all. Let me just pause here to see what persons are saying. I'm seeing that persons are offering in the chat, and I am not, oh, wow, amazing. Well, I hope it's what I'm saying that's amazing and awesome. Hey, Denise Dobson, good to see you. Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you. Good to see you. All right. So let me move on. At the end, we can take some questions if you have any. All right. Another very effective piece of tool that I think you should have in your toolbox. Another system that I think you should put in place. Why isn't my thing moving? It happens all the time. The longer I talk is the longer it takes to move. Don't worry, it will move. It will move. It will move. And of course, one of the things I teach in my public speaking sessions is to say to people, don't just have your slides, know your stuff as well. If you want to be an effective public speaker, don't just know your slides. That if the thing can't work, in Jamaica we say pop down, Jane, and those of you in Africa, if the thing pop down, you know your stuff. So therefore, if something is wrong and the thing freezes, then you are able to carry on. So I know my stuff, but let me stop sharing this a bit and then start sharing again so that you can follow along. So make a note of steps that we have, the tools that I've given you so far. Nothing happens until you move. That's right, Caroline. You have to move. It must not just stay in your head. It must not just stay on your notepad, but you have to ensure that you put things, do the action, you move on it. All right, so the last bit of tool that I want to share with you, I consider it one of my most effective, one of my most effective tools. And I call this the brata. Those of you in Africa, brata means a little something extra, a little something extra in addition to what it is that I've already shared with you. This, to me, I value this particular system that I've put in place, and I've seen that it works in my life. And I think it's a very effective tool for you to put in your toolbox. It's called, and it has a very long name. So let's go. There it goes again, freezing on me again. It is called the, this is not working. All right, let me stop sharing again. It is called Where You Don't Live in Your Head. Don't judge people. Don't overthink about a situation. Don't overthink and don't judge persons, because that is what happens when we live in. We judge people, and many times as a result of judging people, we break our relationship. The relationship is broken. And so many times that is what causes challenges in the workplace. Yes, when we start overthink things. We overthink things, and sometimes it's all in our head. Sometimes nothing goes like that, but we are standing by what we think. We're standing by what we say, yeah? They don't overthink and don't be too quick to jump to conclusions too. You hear that long name? Live by it, live by it. Too many times we overthink things. We overthink, and many times it's all in our head, and nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. So with this tool, with this system, it is where you exercise caution. It is where you think positively and where you give the benefit of the doubt. If you don't do that, the organization that you lead can come tumbling down. Your relationship with people will go haywire. Let me tell you my story. So I found a new hairstylist, all right? And I reached out to her. I found out that she styles locks, dreadlocks. I told her, no, sister locks. And she says, yes, she can do it. So we made the arrangement. I'd be in touch with her Wednesday. This past Wednesday, I got in touch with her. And I said, okay, do you have any styles, any books with styles to show me so I can choose? She says, yes. And nothing else from her. All of Wednesday, nothing else. Thursday morning, nothing else. Thursday evening, in my head, I'm saying, this girl has no manners. I feel disrespected. I feel that she is disrespectful. And I feel like calling her and saying to her, you know, you don't want customers, you don't want clients. This is a poor way to behave. That was in my head. I wanted to say that to her because I was not hearing from her. But I decided to play it safe, yeah? So Thursday evening, I sent her a WhatsApp message. I said, you know, I'm still expecting to hear from you. That's the way she sent me a message apologizing for the delay, yeah? I called her. And the moment I called her, she answered the phone. And before I could say hi, she started just apologizing. And then while she apologized, I heard her becoming very emotional. And I said, what's up? She said, my father died yesterday. Her father died. Hence the delay. She had no time to be reaching out to me, especially, you know, what made me even upset is because I saw that it appeared that the WhatsApp message was read. I said, this girl has no manners. But then I discovered all what was in my head. I thank God that I did not say what I thought, and it stayed there, because that could have killed a relationship. And many times as leaders in an organization, we have all kinds of thoughts about the workers. We have all kinds of thoughts about people, even at church. I have had a situation at church where somebody came to me and said, you know, I find you unapproachable. Why? She said, many times. I remember one day we were having the welcome song, and I came towards you and you immediately just turned your back on me. Now, I am not aware of this at all. It was not deliberate. It was not intentional. And as a result of that, she decided that she was not going to speak to me for a bit. When she finally mustered up, I was going towards the cafe at church, and I saw her and I smiled. I said hi, and I moved inside the cafe. And then because I smiled, she came back and said, you know, Sister Thelma, this is the case. And I just said, no, nothing. That's further from the truth. And I apologized to her for whatever it is that I did in terms of my body language, because usually there are so many persons calling to me. Yeah, I wonder if I'm talking too fast for my African friends. Are you understanding, Jane? Are you understanding?
They're here. I'm getting you.
Okay, good. Let me go a little slow. Oops, my apology. So she realized that it was not intentional. And we hugged. Now, This can kill relationships. Many times what we're thinking about persons, it's all in our heads. And we can kill relationships. We can kill relationship between boss and staff member. We can kill our own business if we're the business owner. And so it is something that we really do need to think about. All right. So that closes my presentation. But before I go, I want to find out from you, which of these systems you believe you would like to install? Which of these, does it make sense? Do you think that there's any system that you would like to install? And which of these systems that I have highlighted here that you believe that you should install? Is it the broad system or any of the other systems that I've mentioned, the consistency system? What other systems did I mention? The telescopic, microscopic system. Hopefully you have been taking notes. Which of these, is there any that you think that you should install based on your situation? I will just pause here and I'd allow you to just share if there's any of these that you think make sense or that you think you would love to install for yourself personally. Yeah, these are tools. Which of these tools do you think you'd like to put in your toolbox? Maybe they are already in your toolbox, but you have not been using them. And so the toolbox has been growing dust. You have not opened that toolbox. Yes. Or you started and you don't think the system is working. And so you just shut the box and then that is it. Is there any of these systems that you think that you would like to install? See, it was a short presentation, not a long one at all. Anybody? Remember at the beginning, I said contribute, contribute, contribute. And with confidence, there is no, this is a safe space. Nothing that you say will be held against you, or nobody will tell you to shut up. You're not offering value. Everything that you say will be valuable. So, anyone?
Coach
Yes,
Thelma,
Coach.
good
All right, hold on.
afternoon.
I'm seeing Caroline's hand. I am seeing, maybe it's because I'm not opening the chat. I'm not seeing it. All right. So I'm seeing Caroline.
I can read for you. Can help and
Very
read
good.
for
Thank
you
you
the
so much,
chat,
Caroline.
Thelma.
Who is it?
Coach Thelma, this is Denise.
Denise. All right, let me go. I see Caroline's hand. I see, oh, it's two Caroline. Caroline has two things. I see, oh, Shireen Leslie's hand, and then Denise, I see. So let's take Caroline first, then Shireen, then Denise. Go ahead.
Afternoon to everyone. Great afternoon to our African friends. It's good to have you here. It's good to be here with you. Blessings to you and to Sister Thelma. Well, my issue is consistency. The idea sounds great. Put it on the paper. First day running with it. By the midweek, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but it's as if the wind came and it just blew it away.
Anything here you think you can use? Anything here that I've contributed that you think would be useful in that regard?
Yes, I have I've decided to use your habit where I use a quiet time, not let that be disturbed, because that is what gets me focused. But finding that when you don't get that quiet time, you don't get to put the measures in place.
Or is it the 60-day habit challenge? Which one is it?
Right. Well, the 60-day habit challenge, that's what I'm going to take up. And then I have to get somebody accountable, because that is another issue. Having the 60-day challenge, getting accountability partner.
You should. I remember I'm a podcaster, but I've procrastinated so much months I have not done a podcast. And my friend Henika Watkins Porter is a podcast queen. So I said, listen, lady, you have to hold me accountable. So what I did was I reached out to her and I said, every day call me to say, what are you doing towards starting your podcast again? Maureen knows that I'm on TikTok. Yeah, and I have a huge African Jane. I have 37,000 followers on TikTok, and most of them are from Africa. Ghana tops the list, 90%. Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, those 4 areas. And there are times, I mean, I started off doing it 7 days a week. And then when I figured that I had established myself, it came down to 5 days a week. But after a time, I was slipping days. I was missing days. So my friend Maureen Wong, I'm not sure if she's on now. I said to her, listen, I need you to hold me accountable.
Yes, I am.
Oh, she's okay. There she is. I said, I need you to hold me accountable, you know? And so what she would do would send me a WhatsApp message to say, TikTok, 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 for me to start my thing. So you really have to get an accountability partner and make sure it's a partner that you don't have to get a partner to hold that other partner accountable, you know?
Right.
So that's a good thing. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you
just
so much.
do that. Yeah, man. Shireen?
Good afternoon, everyone. I must say first, great presentation. I have learned a lot. Well, for me, it's the action steps tool. You know, I really need to move in action. And as you said, I really need to get an accountability partner because I will have the thing there and the goal set down on the paper. You know, for me, I am an overthinker. I like to think, what if it doesn't work, you know? So I tend not to make the step because I am overthinking. So that's a tool there that I really need to work on, that one, you know? Step out, move, make the move. Thank you so much, Deaconess Thelma.
Thank you so much too. Melinda. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for this awesome session. And the thing that stood out most to me, because I'm an overthinker, is like get out of your head. I tend to overthink a lot of things because I'm always moving. I'm always doing a lot of things. But I'm learning also, you know, as you stated that, you know, just to be patient and wait and see before, you know, I act, because I always like overthink and then I act immediately. So that is something that I'm putting in my toolbox, and it's a great reminder. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. And you notice the long name, right? Don't overthink and don't be too quick to jump to conclusions too. I deliberately named it that way.
And you know what? When you were saying that, my thing froze, so I didn't hear it. So I'm glad you repeated that.
Yeah, that's the name of the tool. That's the name of the tool. A very excellent
yes.
system to have, and it's a broader, and I call it a lifetime system. Go ahead, Nafuna. I hope I'm getting it right. Nafuna.
Hi, everyone. And yes, you have gotten it right.
Thank you.
I think just like everybody else, I'd say I'm such an overthinker. And the worst part is that I combine overthinking plus procrastination. Just like you, I'm a podcaster, I'm a content creator, but most of the time, instead of creating my content, I'll be thinking about what if people don't listen to my stuff? What if this happens? What if this happens? So I think it's time I stopped to overthink, and it's time I took in the action plan seriously, align my goals, and just start working on what I should be working on. Thank you.
Because I hear people saying, what an excellent presentation. But for me, it's just an ordinary presentation. What will make it excellent is what you do with it. What will make it excellent is what you do with it if you do the action steps, if you follow through. Then I'll say I did an excellent presentation. But for now, I've done a fair presentation. So thank you so much, Nafuna, Anne-Marie Collins, and then Agi Onyancha. I hope I have that right. You will introduce yourself when you're going to speak, please, Agi. All right, Anne-Marie, go ahead, please.
Great afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the session, Lady Thelma. I came on late, but I was reading this slide and I was saying that God is so awesome, because the reason for being late was because I jumped to conclusion with a certain matter. And I was on the phone discussing it with somebody, and I did not give the person the benefit of a doubt. So everything that is here is like I'm just reading over what went on earlier. And if I jumped to conclusion, which was what I did, and I wasn't thinking positively, and it was messy, but we talked and everything is back on track now. And I was just saying that I was just talking about this at 11:30, and here I am just reading everything, and this just, put everything together that I should just think positively and not jump to conclusion and do not overthink. So, Lady Thelma, this slide especially is for me, and I just want to thank you.
Thank the Lord for that. Yeah, don't live in your head. I'm telling you, even if it is the way you're thinking, it is best when you have a positive outlook. Your life will be better. You'll be prettier, and you'll be more agreeable and more approachable. And you'll cause those persons around you to change. Because I mean, this is a horrible situation. How can she remain with this cheerful attitude? If you adopt that kind of disposition, it will be a winner for you. So thank you so much. All right, my friend Aggie, please tell us your full name.
All right, thank you so much, Thelma. My name is Agnes Onyanja from Kenya, and you've done well, great in pronouncing it. I must say,
thank you.
Yes, thank you. I must say, I actually came in also a little late, but you know when I came in, this is the slide that hit my face, and I thought, oh, was I meant to just come in and just see this? Seriously. Because I must say that just like a few of those who've just spoken before me, one of the things that I found myself doing is whether I'm having a matter or an issue with somebody, I am too quick to get back with words, which then obviously sometimes I have not taken time to think through the whole or listening properly. So for me, I think this is a big one. But on the second part, I'm also thinking it also, in my view, I tend to also overthink too much if I'm caught in between really the knowledge that I have of knowing what I really need to do and taking the actual action. So I think for me, this is a big one for me. I just need to jump in. I don't have to have the full details when it comes to action. So for me, I'm looking at it in that way. And I mean, Thelma, this is a big one for me. Thank you so much. I mean, I think you're God sent today. Thank you. And thanks for,
Thank God for that. Because this kind of a thing kills, I'm telling you, it kills relationships in an organization. When the boss is overthinking about the worker, like I was thinking about that hairstyle, and she did my hair, see? She did my hair. When the boss is there thinking about the worker and it's in his head or her head, it might not be true. It might not be true. The worker, and don't say, well, she could have come and said something too, and it would cause me not to be thinking that way. But remember, you are leader. So it means, therefore, that you are supposed to be more experienced. You have one up on the worker, the employee. And so you have to be the bigger person. So you have to change your disposition, approach her, find out. If I had said to that hairstylist, you have no manners, look how long I reached out and you didn't even have the decency to respond. But instead I didn't do that. And look what I discovered. Her father died. How is she going to be calling to me to talk about hairstyles when she has her family members to console and all of that kind of a thing? So be careful about overthinking. Thank you so much, my friend, for sharing. Denise.
Great afternoon, everyone. Great afternoon, Lady Thelma. I came on and I was reading the slides and listening to you. But I was requesting in the chat for you to show slides 1 and 2 again because I didn't take it. But the one that stands out to me is the 60 day
60-day habit challenge.
60-day habit, yes, that one stood out to me.
I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you. I'll get you a copy of it so you can do it.
Okay, so that's the one that stood out to me. Presentation was good, very informative. I learned quite a few things that I need to reach back into my toolbox and pull out some of these things, because even the Eat That Frog book, I started reading it and didn't complete. So I need to finish that book. And
Lack
to get
of
the
consistency, action
yes.
steps down the drain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
thank you so much, Denise. So there are the systems, the telescopic, microscopic, the consistency tool, the first thing first tool, the action steps tool, the don't overthink and don't be too quick to jump to conclusions tool. Dr. Jane, can I have just 5 minutes more, please? Is that okay?
We are enjoying our,
all
you are free
right.
to proceed. Members, just hold on for the few minutes, we'll be done.
All right, good. Let's get to work just for 5 minutes more. If there is time, and Doctor has just given me the time, let's work at this scenario. What creative and cheerful systems can you use to solve this particular situation? It's a regular thing. Lateness at home and work, whether your personal business it is, or you lead in an organization, maybe just 3 persons. Somebody from Africa, somebody from Jamaica. I don't want only Africans or only Jamaicans, but what cheerful and creative systems can you use to solve and I chose this deliberately, just the regular problem of lateness at home. Your children, if you are a parent, are getting out of the house late for school, or you can just never be on time, or at work, yeah, if it is your personal business that you have, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, there's a difference between the two, or if you lead in an organization and there's this issue of work. Just tell me a creative and cheerful system tool that you can use to solve this situation. Melinda, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yes, as a leader, if I had like issue with, is it for the person or me going in late? Who is it late? And if I had a staff member that is always late, I would implement like flexi time, you know, work out a schedule where the person can still work the 8 hours, but you know, they can come in between, you know, 7 to 10. I think most people
offer that option.
Yeah, that's what we do in our hours right now.
As long as they still cover the 8 hours.
Yes.
What if the 8 hours goes beyond 5 o'clock and you want to get home?
Well, in today's world, most people work from home. So, but if it's a case where I'm working, I guess we can plan, like if they have to be late. I mean, they're not going to be late every day, but whenever they're late, it is really, you know, genuine issue, because, you know, people have babies or family issues where they have to take care of, you know, they are caregivers, you know, I'll probably work out with that person, you know, if they can work on a weekend, you know, without expecting, or flexi time.
So that might be creative. I want creative and cheerful. Thank you so much, Melinda, for sharing with us. We need just two more persons and we're out. I asked for only 5 minutes. Creative, cheerful way of getting over the lateness so that your organization can just be thriving, flourishing. Yes, Caroline?
I believe what I could do then is implement a system where I pay my accountability partner whenever I am dropping off of line. If I'm not able to put out a devotion, if I'm not able to keep the consistency with writing the book, then my accountability partner would say, well, it's time to pay up. So that would
you don't want to pay.
Pardon me?
And you don't want to pay.
I don't want to pay. So I have that would force me. I think that system is what I'm going to work with though.
All right, thank you. One more, and that's it. So you're coming late all the time. I'll pay you a little bit. I find that I'm getting late all the time. I'm taking the bus late. I'll pay you so that you can help to hold me accountable to get to work on time. You don't want to pay any money, so you are going to make sure that you do everything that you can, you know. Marcia McLean and Anne-Marie Collins. Quick. Yes, go ahead, Marcia.
Yes, so well, greetings again to Dr. Jane and to Coach Thelma and everyone. So what can be done, and I've used it in the past, is to set your clock, maybe 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time. So that can contribute to you not being late. So you'll always be ahead in that regard.
That's creative enough. Yes, I think so. Set it ahead of time. And then you'll be ready for when the Lord comes to beat the Lord and say, I know you're going to come 10 minutes later, but look at me, Lord. All right, thanks, Marcia. Anne-Marie, go ahead.
Okay, I think sister said my part earlier, but
was that, Caroline?
Yeah, but I'll still speak on it because
Yes.
I was saying that for my accountability partner, I would treat her to lunch or dinner, like whenever I am early. And I think that will help me to motivate me because I know that will be a huge expense for me if I'm always late.
Yes.
For work, I know what would I do? I will implement like a clocking system or give some performance in incentive, or just highlight the worker during our staff meeting because that usually works for me at work. You know, I've implemented the incentive. And just to highlight them during the staff meeting, and I've seen where that person really show the initiative and start doing much better.
Yes, they love to be praised.
Yes,
People
they like that.
Praise, yes. And if you have a system where you offer the praise, you offer the little rewards, then it will work. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so it has been my absolute pleasure. I've had some fun. Hope you received some value. God bless you. Over to you now, Dr. J.
What an awesome presentation, Thelma. That is just excellent. That is excellent. I've been listening keenly, and you brought so much insight into the discussion, and you've made it so something realistic, something we can pick today and practice from this moment henceforth. This is truly challenging not in understanding, but challenging in practice. Since most of the times where we fall back, it's mostly on the practicals, what we need to put into practice, the action steps. We've got large dreams, and so are many people. And others die with their songs. They don't sing. And we've become part of this as leaders. And as young ones, as we are today, we've got those big desires to do this, to become this. And you look at others who have done it and you're like, I could have done that. But what happened to me? Or some just sit down and wait that maybe, hopefully, something will come in. And this is where we come in as reflections that inspire. Life is happening today. Your dream, just as someone else, is happening today, but are you in it? Are you playing? Are you acting? So in reflections that inspire, we call these moments as the reflectors. We normally say that experience is the best teacher, but here we believe that reflected experience is the best teacher. Ms. Potter has given us excellent tools. Are we embracing these tools to have them in our box such that we've got new, active, sharp tools in our leadership toolbox? My challenge to us today is that let us create a moment that we can think over this, that we can look through the aspects, what we've got to go through in our leadership. Whatever stage you are at this moment, what is in your leadership toolbox? How are you going to move from point A to point B? What do you have in your toolbox? Today we have systems, we've got the big picture, we've got the consistency tool, the fast thing tool, the fast tool, we've got the action steps, and we've got the lifetime system. Which one are you going to apply today? Take some moment off. Think about what you are taking, where you are going, whom you are becoming. What value are you adding? Which of these tools can help you to make a further step ahead? Thank you so much, Thelma. Thank you so much, members. I truly believe you have been blessed. You have learned something new. And before I close, there are comments that I would like to read. There are people who have on the chat. Before we close shortly.
I'm just looking at some of the comments.
All right, there are many. I can see. Thank you, Dr. Jane. Thank you, Thelma, and everyone else. Was really inspirational, reflective moments. Oh, others. Very informative. Thank you, Dr. Jane and Lady Thelma. Very informative presentation. Excellent job. Good presentation, Lady Porter. All right, there are congratulatory remarks, and I truly appreciate you, my very good friend. Thelma, you've done as well. You've given us insight into this discussion. And thank you so much, members, for participating. I truly appreciate you. All the friends from Jamaica, all the friends from Kenya, we love you. Welcome. We are here always the first Saturday of the month and the third Saturday of the month. Thank you so much, and God bless.
God bless you too. It was a pleasure being here. And well, I was going to say, I still say it anyway, I hope you received some value. But based on the comments I'm seeing, value was offered, value was received. I thank God for that. And we'll see what happens. Remember, it's just a plain, ordinary presentation. It becomes an excellent presentation when you take the steps. All right, so thank you so much again.
Thank you.